You're very welcome back to the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. We are continuing to scrutinise and look at the corruption, coercion and the intimidation by the Irish state of those people who give false statements against Aaron. We're looking in particular at this man here, Ronan Flynn, whom we know was coerced and bullied into giving a false statement. So this ties in, as always, as I've mentioned in the last video, this ties in perfectly with the narrative and the truth that we bring you with the Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. When we look back at Thursday last, I think it was the 20th of February, when this man here, Lorcan Staines, intentionally misled the court and told the court that the Brady family and their friends conducted a campaign of intimidation. He said this on the floor of the court. Now, this court case on Thursday last was in relation to Mr. Dean Byrne, who would have been Aaron's co-accused in the tendency to pervert the course of justice. Now, that case, Aaron pleaded guilty to videoing clips of Ronan giving a statement to Mark Phillips, particularly the piece where Mark Phillips was coercing and making Ronan Flynn change his statement, which we will show in the very near future, and we'll be able to bring that to you, the public. So Aaron pleaded guilty to recording the video. And again, just to give some context to that, if you are looking at someone on your screen, on your laptop, on your phone, and they're telling a tissue of lies, a complete tissue of lies against you, there has to be some sort of pushback. And that's obviously, Aaron, as we all were extremely upset about watching Ronan give the statement and tell a tissue of lies, which ultimately was used to gain a false conviction and to frame Aaron. Although Ronan never came to court, the presence of his statement in the background was used by the likes of this man here, Ronan Flynn, and Mark Phillips, Detective Mark Phillips, and indeed this man here, Lorcan Staines. So on Thursday last, he made this accusation, and the accusations, or the case itself, was in relation to Daniel Cahill's statement, and in relation to Dean Byrne, who was in prison in Mountjoy with Aaron, attempting to make contact with Daniel Cahill, and Dean Byrne's motive, and it's mentioned numerous times in the article. We'll put a link to the article below from Thursday last. Dean Byrne's primary belief was that Daniel Cahill was coming to court to purge himself and to tell lies. And Dean Byrne was 100% right. And we have proven that on numerous occasions. So we have Daniel Cahill, the liar, and we have Lorcan Staines, the enabler. And Lorcan Staines, in order to detrimentally influence Dean Byrne's appeal, threw this out into the ether that the Brady family had intimidated, and Brady's family and friends had intimidated witnesses. Nothing could be further from the truth. Nobody, not one person, not one group, nobody has ever made any sort of formal complaint against the Brady family. Now, as you know, most of you know, we've created over 500 videos. We've put a lot of information out there, a lot of truth. And if any of that was incorrect, it would be brought to court as a form of intimidation. So the accusations by Lorcan Staines on the floor of the court is a lie. He is deliberately misleading the court. This is contempt of court. Now, we have contacted the DPP office in relation to Staines' actions and his statement in the court, and we await a response from that. And we have looked at a little bit of the article written by this man here, Owen Reynolds, and you can see we've asked the question there, is it Owen Reynolds' objective to question and ask about this statement? You can see it there. Mr. Staines said there had been a wide-ranging campaign of intimidation, and it's in brackets, which is very convenient, by Brady's friends, family and associates to prevent witnesses giving evidence at his trial in the present case, he said. So there is absolutely no one, and there is no evidence, not a shred of evidence. Well, the reason there's no evidence is because we haven't done anything to stop anyone from giving evidence. And we'll show you very clearly who did do the intimidating and who was intimidated. Is Owen Reynolds and the mainstream media in Ireland, is it their job to hold the authorities to account and have checks and balances against their behaviour and against their work? Of course it is. Is Staine telling the truth? Most certainly not. And we've proven that on numerous occasions. I will repeat. Not one person has ever made any complaint against Aaron Brady, the Brady campaign, or anyone in the Brady family, or indeed, as it's mentioned here, any of Brady's friends. None. Zero. So this is complete contempt of court, and it is illegal, and we hope that we can make Mr. Staine retract what he said on the floor of the court. Now, we have also, for completedness, we have alerted Pádraig Dwyer, senior counsel, who represents Dean Byrne, and we have alerted Mr. Dwyer that his client's case was detrimentally affected by the statements of this man here, Lorcan Staines, as he tries to protect the criminal, the drug dealer, the terrorist, the paedophile apologist, Daniel Cahill. So, again, we're fighting against the state, and these people are allowed just to throw information out there and hope it goes unchallenged. And unfortunately, people like Owen Reynolds, Paul Reynolds, Frank Graney, all these people are unwilling and very sadly and pathetically lacking in asking the relevant questions. They don't have to make any statements, but they are entitled to question what is going on in any state body. So very quickly, we're going to look at some of the people who were influenced by the authorities and the Irish Garda. So we have here, this is a County Down man, Anthony Gerard Maguire, who was extradited back to Ireland in 2023. But before he was extradited back to Ireland, amazingly, he was allowed to stay in America after giving a false statement against Aaron. Now, this is a brief look at his rap sheet from 2014. Cannabis, €320, cocaine, 33,900, controlled A drugs, controlled B drugs, ammunition in suspicious circumstances. So there's an arrest warrant, an extradition warrant for this man, and again, it was made disappear when he gave statements against Aaron. But it is recorded in the DPP. This man here, Anthony Gerard Maguire, sent a letter via his lawyer in New York that he wished to withdraw his statement from the Aaron Brady case because he was put under severe duress by An Garda Síochána. So there's proof positive of intimidation. We have Ronan Flynn, whom we're working on over the last few videos. This is Ronan's text message. And he said they came to his work, they arrested him, they told him he would never see his wife and child in America again, and they were going to extradite him on some bullshit warrant about Tommy Eccles. And we have numerous voice recordings with Ronan, conversations recorded, and again, in due course, we will bring those to you. And there again, in black and white, out of the horse's mouth, these people were being intimidated. Here we have this man here. I'd say most people have seen this video, Thomas O'Callaghan, who was extradited from New York because Mark Phillips, he wouldn't tell lies to Mark Phillips. Mark Phillips put him under pressure. He said, all you have to say is that the Flynn brothers, Eugene Flynn and James Flynn, said in a pub one night in Boston that they're involved in the Modern robbery, and that man could have stayed in America. He wouldn't tell the lies, and he was extradited. And his story is there for all to see. We'll put the link to that interview with Gemma O'Doherty directly below this video. So there's it there for all to see clearly. Now, we have numerous other people in the background, and as this breaks, and we say, for example, if Ronan Flynn and his family come forward, there are other people that will fall in behind, corroborate his story, corroborate his information in relation to this man here, Daniel Cahill, the lies he told, and prove his testimony to be complete perjury. So that is all in place. There's no one has come to challenge us. Again, during the course of the court trial and the court case last Thursday, I just stood up briefly when Mr. Staines made the liable statement on the floor of the court, and I just asked the judge, may I please the court, can I speak? And I knew the judge was not going to allow me to speak. I sat quietly with my daughter Sonia and we left the court. But it's on record that as soon as those words were uttered by Lorcan Staines, the Brady family reacted. And only we are diligent and attend all these court dates, this would be allowed to go unchallenged, as we have seen with the mainstream media on numerous occasions. So it's very simple. These words issued on the floor of the court by Lorcan Staines are lies. Lorcan Staines, you are a liar. Unprofessional, illegal statements in the court that you know yourself is a tissue of lies to protect your friend here, Daniel Cahill. And you can see from the picture what we think Daniel Cahill would do to you if he had the option. It's there to be seen. And you are enabling him, and you're enabling other drug dealers like Christopher Morton and Anthony Gerard Maguire. And you enabled Ronan Flynn to be used as a tool against Aaron and to create a narrative that simply doesn't exist. You are a liar, and your professionalism is absolutely disgusting. And the words you uttered last Thursday in the courtroom in Dublin are showing total disrespect again for your profession. And this all goes back down to the total disregard to the memory of Detective Guard Adrian Donoghue. When you stoop to these lows, in the gutter you are, Lorcan Staines, in the gutter. In front of your peers, you're in the gutter. If this is what you have to do to create nothing more than a shitstorm for the mainstream media in relation to Aaron Brady and Dean Byrne and Ronan Flynn's video and 2 pages of Daniel Cahill's statement. Daniel Cahill's statement is full of lies, and that's why you won't take us to court to argue what we're saying about Daniel Cahill. Otherwise, we'd be in court a long time ago. So you're a coward too, Staine. You won't take us to court over Ronan Flynn because you know his statements is a tissue of lies. And we can prove it. Every word of it. So that's where you stand, Lorcan Staines, or that's where you lay in the gutter where you belong. And we would appreciate a response via the DPP sooner rather than later in respect of your actions on the courtroom floor. And put forward the accusations and hopefully we shall be able to respond to them, and we'll respond as quickly as is possible. So that's where we are with Lorcan Staines, Daniel Cahill, his mate, and the Ronan Flynn saga. So again, everything folds into place. It follows our narrative. It follows the truth. And we will continue to do so. So the next videos, we're going to interact now with and let you hear some of the conversations we've had with Ronan Flynn. Straight from the horse's mouth. Exactly what happened. And again, the opportunity will be there in March for the Flynn family to have their affidavit prepared for Aaron's appeal case in March. So you're buying us time. Thank you very much for extending Aaron's case into March, and for people to come forward and do the right thing. And all I can say, Ronan and family, there are other people there ready to move as soon as you pull the first card from the house of cards on which our son's framing stands. So we leave it at that. We'll see you all again in the next video. And as I say, we're still looking at Ronan Flynn's extradition warrant disappearance, the illegality of that, the admissions by Ronan Flynn that he's telling lies, the admission by Ronan Flynn that he was put under severe duress and he was intimidated by this man here, Sergeant or Inspector Mark Phillips, and his clone Paul Gill. So we look forward to bringing that, and we'll see you all in the next video. Thank you.